Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri ve hlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli ve cealli veziran min ehli Harun ahi üşdud bihi ezri ve eşriku fi emri كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا وتقبل دعاء رب اجعل هذا البلد آمنا وجنبني وبني أن نعبد الأصنام اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. Welcome everyone. Inshallah we will continue studying the section Furqan of the Qur'an. And it is the 25th section of the Quran, and we studied up to the verse 32. And we will continue from there. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عفوا sorry وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. The translation says, the disbelievers also say, why was the Quran not sent down to him all at once? We send it in this way to strengthen your heart. We gave it to you in gradual revelation. Now, there are three sections in this verse. One section is the disbelievers say, why was the Quran not sent down to him all at once? This is one section. The second one is, as a response from God, we send it in this way to strengthen your heart. That's the second part. And the third part is, we gave it to you in gradual revelation. Although this gradual revelation, وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا, needs to be carefully analyzed, and we will talk about it. But let's start from the first section of this verse. The disbelievers also say, why was the Quran not sent down to him all at once? What is the point? Why do you think the disbelievers, rejectors of the Prophet's message, claim that And still, this is the problem. That not only 1400 years ago they claimed it, but nowadays we see also some people make some excuses to criticize the Quran being revealed by God. They also have this kind of claim. What they say, Quran is revealed during the lifetime of the Prophet, and according to the conditions of the time, they claim that Muhammad made it up to explain the situation and make up a message according to the conditions of their living standards or their lifestyles. Why they wanted the Quran to be sent down at once? Because the same thing, 23 years of mission was accomplished throughout a life experiences. And they say Muhammad is making up, so if it was revealed as a whole, we will see that that is what he said at the very beginning, and later on throughout his life, he will apply it as related to the specific conditions of their life. So what do you think? Let's talk about it. Would not be really better to reveal the whole Quran at once so they would study it and understand the whole of the Quran? What do you think? Any idea? Yes,
Assalamualaikum. Yeah, I feel like the gradualness, I mean, had it been revealed all at once, the same argument could have been made in the opposite light. Like, why wasn't it revealed part by part? If someone has um a preconceived position that they're approaching it from, they will find an angle or a question to ask regardless of uh I guess what the Quran says, right? And then secondly, I think um part of the gradualness there also looks to um every aspect of human life which develops in a gradual manner as well. If you give a first grader, a high school or a PhD level of questions or work, they're obviously not going to be able to do it. So there's a sense of gradual development in the way that the human being is created. So I think the same can be applied to the community around the Prophet, as well as our own life context, as well as when we interact with the Quran as well.
Thank you very much. It's a very legitimate part of the answer. Very legitimate. And also, how is it generally? Thank you. It is a great response. Anyone else? We have to question. This is a very serious subject, by the way. I don't know whether you are aware of it. There are many criticisms about this subject, this first point. But we have to we have to think about the purpose of the revelation. What is the purpose of revelation? Why do you think God speaks to us? Do we need it? Any?
Oh,
Okay.
I said guidance.
Sorry?
I think the purpose is guidance.
Guide. Yeah, excellent. But what is the what in which was the in what sense we need guidance? I mean, for what? Need guidance for what? How to make the salad? I'm joking, of course.
Purpose behind our existence.
Purpose for our existence. Correct. That's the main theoretical base of the teachings of the Quran. Why do we exist? But is it the only mission of the Quran or God that speaks to me? Or is there any other area in our life that we need guidance?
I would say to live a peaceful life.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Edwin, did Edwin said this? Did you say this, Edwin?
Yeah.
Excellent, Edwin. I'm very, very happy with this answer. Yeah, we have to have a peaceful life. Okay, further question. These are all legitimate, by the way, excellent answers, but let's go further, Cover or enlarge in the area where we need guidance. Yeah, as far as I remember, Qasim said, really, what we needed existentially to make our existence meaningful. And Edwin said, I'm just summarizing. If I am wrong, correct me. Edwin said, yeah, after knowing why I exist in this world, I have to have a peaceful life. That is excellent. One step ahead. In order to have a peaceful life, I really loved this answer. All of them, but Edwin's answer. Peaceful life. In order to have a peaceful life, how do you think God will help me? How do you think he will help me? Which kind of help I need? Everybody wants to have a peaceful life. And also I can think, what should I do so that how I should manage with my life so that I will have a peaceful life. So some people say, okay, go and do sports in the morning or go to the gym sometimes according to your age, or have a healthy food. These are all legitimate things. But are they enough? In my life, I have many, many different kinds of experiences, problems, family life, social life, my how should I manage? How should I do my job? How should I manage with my financial matters? And if there are some problems in the society, I am concerned with them. How can I really help others? In which way? How? And how can I reach the full satisfaction in my life? These are these are the concerns. There are even more. For example, if there is a dispute, how can I solve it in the best way? If somebody disturbs you, how can I defend myself? And if, for example, if there is a family discordance, how can I solve it? There are many others. There are many other aspects. So, the purpose of the Quran, whatever we need, that we cannot find any guidance for this need to satisfy my life so that I will have a peaceful life, satisfied life. I will try my best to do something, but I can only know from my perspective, and other people also, for example, they declare war against some other people. And they say, this is for the benefit of my country. The other country says, this is for the benefit of my country. The criterion between people will be according to their perspective. But what we need, a criterion which is valid for every human being, but established from a point of view that only the creator of human beings know it. Only the creator of human beings know what is best for us. So God comes, yes, explains my meaning of my life, and it gives me guidance to have a meaningful, satisfactory, peaceful life. And it must be practiced throughout my living conditions with physical experiences. That is why we see in the life of the prophets, but we see the life of the Prophet Muhammad in details. We see that from the very beginning of his prophetic mission until the end of his prophetic mission, he went through all sorts of human conditions, practical life conditions, everything that a human being can, or a society can experience, he went through it. He started the mission, it is very interesting, among a pagan society, and as an orphan, not as a noble of the society, as an uneducated person, poor person, and started from, if you like, the scratch of life experience, and continued until he became the ruler, administrator of the big community, one of the biggest community. There were two main biggest empires, Roman Empire and Persian Empire, Pars Empire. It was called Pars Empire at that time. So, and he became a third biggest community, and later on, this biggest community had a conflict with the Pars Empire because they killed the envoy, ambassador of the prophet. So it means declaration of war. If somebody kills the ambassador, what happens? It's a declaration of war. So Muslims responded back and destroyed Pars Empire. That was so powerful in the new administration, Medina, as it is called Medina administration. It wasn't an empire. The Prophet wasn't an emperor. He was still living as an ordinary person. Ordinary person. Nothing different from any other citizen of that Medina city-state. So he went through every problems. War problems, peace life, peaceful life, and he was the winner in the war when they attacked him. Sometimes he was defeated and had difficult times, and some people reacted. His mission, wanted to stop it, and later on many people supported it, every kind of living conditions. And he had many family problems took place in his community. Now, I mean, every possible main problems of human society will experience, he went through it. And Qur'an, if you like, walked along with him. God, step by step, guided him. In this condition, you should do this. You should do that. You shouldn't do this. Sure, you have to treat people in this way. You have to treat your answer the problems, the questions of these people in this way or another way. Oh, as if that is how the Quran is known among Muslim community. Muslim community defines the Quran as living guide or guide for life. That is guide for life. If the Quran was not practically guided, if you like, God, if God did not practically guide the community, including, of course, under the leadership of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, under his leadership, we will have a set of law and we will have problems how to apply it. In which case, I should apply what? Because Quran teaches, educates human beings not only like today's law legal system. Legal system only arranges your relationship legally, but they don't educate you. They don't really guide your feelings. They don't really make you grow together with the living experiences. Law is just a book, so you apply it in certain conditions, but it doesn't give you this law system doesn't give you, for example, or answer you why you exist. How are you going to, why do you exist? How are you going to communicate with the one who created you? Which kind of responsibilities you have towards your creator? And how are you going to practice your life bearing in mind that you are doing it not as a result of your personal interest or your community, interest of your community, interest of your country, your state, but only because God guided you in this way. You have to act in the name of God, not in the name of nation, in the name of state, in the name of power. So these must be guided or arranged in such a way that it should never contradict your human nature. So you will have a peaceful life here, but we should never forget that this universe, the life in this universe, is only for a training purpose, for an education purpose. That is why, while I am interacting with my personal and social life, I have to prepare myself so that my life ends. When my life ends, when I die, everything should not become to nothing, because all what I did had no meaning, has no meaning now after I die. I know that I am brought in this way, in this world, and I know that I am going to be taken away by the one who brought me to this world. I know that. Whoever brought me into this world, he will take me away, and there must be a purpose. And how can I prepare myself after I die? Because my spirit is waiting for eternity, and eternity is not here. So the one who created me gave me the sense of desiring eternal happiness, and there is no eternal happiness here. How can I prepare myself for the eternal life so that I will be peacefully living in this world, and also I will be not under the stress of fear of death and disappearing from existence? Qur'an guides human beings not only that you will have some beautiful food, beautiful house, an enjoyable life, and die and disappear. No, you have to prepare yourself for for a life where we will experience the infinite, eternal, satisfactory life. So how are we going to deal with these temporary affairs, problems, or anything that I am doing in this way, temporary, and turn it into a preparation for an eternal life? How can I do that? Quran guides this. That is why the Quran guides me in such a way that nothing else, nobody else can guide me, because nobody knows the hereafter. And nobody really can give you guidance. For example, most of you are university graduates. How many years you have received education? Now, minimum 15 years? I think so, around, starting from the elementary school, middle school, high school, university, if not for graduate studies, then I think 12th grade, and then 16 years, correct? At
Yeah.
least, yeah.
Yeah.
At least 16 years. Have you been taught about anything concerning your life after death? What will happen? Is it really going to happen? If it is, how are you going to prepare yourself for the eternal life? I haven't been through education much longer than 16 years, and I haven't received anything. I don't know if you have, if anybody has. What does it mean? Of course, Qur'an comes and introduces that you have an absolute creator. This absolute creator has brought you to in this world so that you can train yourself, educate yourself in such a way that you will be happy and you will have a peaceful life in this world as well as in the next one. So everything is related. Whatever I do here, one side looks at my bodily satisfaction, the other side looks at my spiritual satisfaction. Why? Because I have two elements. I have my body, I need to eat, I need to have a shelter, I need to have a peaceful, material, worldly life. But at the same time, my spiritual side must be satisfied as well. So while I am living in this world, I have to live as a means of, I have to experience everything as a means of satisfying two aspects of my life: bodily satisfaction, spiritual satisfaction. And Quran guides you through practical examples which took place through the life of the Prophet Muhammad and the people around him. They physically experienced everything, as they went through either some questions, some problems. Revelation came practically guided them. In this case, you should know they are living this one. In this case, you should do this way. You should behave in this way. You should respond like this or like that. That is why, for the purpose of the mission of the Quran, to fulfill its mission, it has to be, the revelation has to be practically experienced and learned. That is why Quran was revealed throughout the life of the Prophet as the pattern, to be a pattern that I have to take it to my living conditions and apply it to my living conditions. It doesn't mean that I am going to imitate it. No, apply it to my living conditions. Excuse me, just 1 second. Just excuse me. All right, excuse me, just a minute. Now, Now we covered what are the benefits of gradual revelation for prophets' contemporaries. Yeah, I think we talked about it. And it is also for our benefits too. But God responds them, which God says, no, we send it in this way to strengthen your heart. Now, the second part of the section of the verse now. We send it in this way to strengthen your heart. How do we understand this? So God is their guidance. If you want to say anything, share an idea, I would love it. I would love to hear it. We send it in this way to strengthen your heart. What are the benefits of gradual revelation from prophets' contemporaries? So they were sure, including the prophet, they were sure that God is guiding them alongside with their practical life. They were so satisfied with it. God is guiding them, sometimes preparing their minds what will happen in the future. Sometimes something they experienced and God sent, or you experienced this for this and this purpose, that purpose. So explain it, they understand. That is why we experience this one, this event or whatever happened there. So they were sure that if, as you like, God was walking with them. That is why they felt that their heart is satisfied, strengthened. God is walking with them. For example, it is just an example, don't misunderstand, or it shouldn't be misinterpreted. And father or a parent is taking care of their children and educating them through their life as they grow, like this. So it is really, it is the best way to have a satisfied heart and mind, so that God is with them. They were so sure that God was with them. So if we take, excuse me, if we take the Quran now, and of course we have to know how the Quran was revealed and through what events that these verses were revealed. So we will say, okay, let me take the Quran now for my guidance. If there is a problem, go take the reference from the Quran. When I experience something, take the reference from Quran. But of course, we have to know what the Quran is teaching. Exactly. And also we have to know in which conditions what verses were revealed. Though, of course, it needs expertise. We have to admit that. It needs expertise. So we have to take the expertise, the guidance or explanations of the expertise, and try to make sense of them. That needs to be done practically. If we don't know exactly how the Quran was revealed from the beginning to the end, that's why we have been studying for years chronologically chronological revelation of the Quran and try to learn how the Quran started building up a perfect human being and a perfect society. How it started and going through. Inshallah, if Allah gives us opportunity, we will continue like this. Now we studied until the 25th section of the Quran through chronological revelation. So inshallah, we will continue about it. Now, and the last piece about this verse. Now, كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك. This is what we covered. We send it in this way to strengthen your heart. Last part, وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. It's a huge subject. But how can we apply the gradual revelation to our Quran, to our lives? We studied this. Now, let's go this one. Let me do this. Get everything. Oh, of course, I have to go here. Now. All right. Get everything here. Very small. Maybe 12. Right. And then come here. All right. And make it 18. Let me see. I think we can manage now. I have taken some notes here. وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. رَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. What does it mean? There are some comments here. Now, Rattelna means putting the component parts of a thing together and arranging them well as endowing it with inner consistency. Now, the original meaning of the word ratele, if someone has a well-arranged teeth, not like mine, so everything is perfectly, every tooth is perfectly located, functioning perfectly, keeps the consistency within each other. That is original meaning comes from this ratele. So, but the Quran uses this for the revelation, for the organization of the language of the verses, and at the same time, the interrelationship between the verses. وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. It is translated here, we gave it to you in gradual revelation, but that is only the translation. But here we understand that putting the component parts of a thing together and arranging them well as endowing it with inner consistency. Phrase or rattele, the further explanation, phrase elegantly, articulately, slowly. We will see in other words here. Slowly. And also, according to the conditions of your life, appropriate guidance is sent to you, so your heart will be strengthened about that your God is guiding you. So, in other meaning, the putting of things together distinctly in a well-arranged manner and without any haste. These meanings are included in the Quran when the Quran uses this word. this word, original word, rattele. So this is how God says we put them and arrange them in such a way that it goes smoothly connected with each other and tied up with each other and guides you with no defect. Now, there is another verse here as in the section Muzammil and the 73rd section of the Quran and verse number 4. So it says, Evzid alayhi, that is something else. It's not related to our subject. Verattilil Qur'ane tertila. What does it mean? Let's forget about this part or add to it at will. In its context, it has its meaning, but we need this part. Verattilil Qur'ane tertila. It means recite the Quran calmly and distinctly with your mind attuned to its meaning. That is how we should read the Quran. As this verse that I'm sharing in my notes guides us. Read it. Don't hurry. Articulately read it. Distinctly pronounce it. And bear in mind what it says in your mind, and it will go the way as your tongue recites the Quran, your mind will follow it. So it will have its connections, your way of saying it, and your mind is walking along with it. And really, you know what you are saying. Be aware of it. Of course, someone may not be able to know the meaning of what he is reciting in Arabic, but at least we have to have a general idea that God is speaking to me, and although I may not understand everything what he says, which is impossible, by the way, it has layers of meaning, but at the same time, I will know that it is somehow related to my life and it is guiding me. We have to make effort to understand what the Quran is telling me. We have to spend some time, slowly, to get to know what the Quran is teaching me. But usually what we understood from this verse, to Verattilil Qur'ane tertila, from this verse, what we understand usually are follow the tajweed rules. That is included definitely, but not enough. Not enough. We have to know that it is not enough. Okay. Do you have any more topics that you would like to talk about this verse? Any questions?
I have a question. Does it mean indirectly that uh I guess like we could not handle the entire Quran at once? So the example that I can think of is similar to, I suppose, people who go to the gym, they try to lift weight, and sometimes they're trying to lift a lot of weight. They can't because they have to work towards that. They have to train towards that. So they start off with smaller and then work their way to a bigger weight. So could that analogy fit here, that you can't just begin with everything at once, but rather you have to incrementally make progress towards, I suppose, a greater depth?
First of all, as far as I understand, first of all, it is not impossible. It is not possible to have whole message of the Quran. Of course, we have to go through our living experiences, and anytime we have some concerns, and we have to go back to the related section of the Quran, related verses of the Quran. So we cannot really handle all of them. But what we can do here, Quran has some practical guidance, but majority of the verses are about how we should understand our existence, our life, the purpose of our life, and we should keep in mind that we are here being educated by our Creator. So always bear in mind belief in God and believe in the revelation that whatever I do in this world, definitely God gives guidance about it. Let me see what it says and seek for it, and ask if we don't know those people who know, or read about it, learn, educate yourself. And prophet. There is a prophet. The belief in prophet is really extremely important. Why? When I read something from the Quran, and if in one side, when I read something from the Quran, I should know that this was needed in the life of the prophet, and prophet was a human being like me, so I may need it again. I may need it in my life as well. I have to take it into heart and have a guidance for myself on this subject. And from another perspective, I have to know that whatever I have in this life, I have to look for guidance from the Quran, as the prophet needed guidance from God. So see that how prophet handled this subject. And that is why we need to really have guidance from prophetic exemplary life. So we have to refer to the narrations about his life experience. I have to connect them together. Prophet did it in this way. I am sure he did it under the guidance of the Quran. It means under the guidance of God. So take into account, into consideration that, yes, God is guiding me in the Quran, and also God sends his guidance. It's something attracted my attention. God has guidance in the written form for me now, originally spoken form, but now it is written form transferred to me, and also the prophetic exemplary life, because he was educated, he was trained under the guidance of the Quran. So that is the belief in the prophethood, belief in revelation. And also we have to know that the universe is so meaningful, and it is the meaningful side of the universe, reveals to me that God created everything for a purpose. And this purpose is manifested in the creation of every being. God is introducing himself to me. God is introducing himself to me through what he has created out there, which is called angelic side of the creation. So it will bring us the angelic side of everything, so that I will believe, I will understand that I am living with angels here in this world. And also, we have to know that I am a, if you like, temporary training here. So there will be a hereafter. How can I relate my practical life to the hereafter so that I will prepare myself? That is the another aspect of belief. These elements, belief elements, must be borne in mind all the time. But when it comes to some practical matters, for example, this typical example, my parents died and they have some property. What shall I do with it? How can I distribute it to among my brothers, sisters? And also, I have a mother. What should I do? Shall I give her as well, or what? How much? These all must be arranged. Let me see. Answers: the universe, human feelings, the revelation, and the life of the prophet are all aspects of the same reality. Absolutely. One thing, let's add to it. And if you don't mind, this life
yes, please, please.
is temporary. This life is temporary. How can I extend everything I do here into the external life? How can I extend it? We need to add one thing: belief in the hereafter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you agree?
I'll add that. Yes.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Yeah. Oh, but hereafter also related to the capacity of my spirit. Does it make sense? Hereafter, without hereafter, all of these will be nothing. After I die, okay, my human feelings gone. And the revelation, yeah, I left behind. And the life of the prophet, I'm not living in this world anymore. This hereafter is the most essential news that we receive from the revelation. The reality of hereafter. If there was no revelation from our Creator, we would never ever know that after I die, I will be taken into another kind of existence. And I will be experiencing another kind of living conditions. I will never do that. So everything I have here, I do here, I experience here. I have to bear in mind that this thing has something to do with my life in the hereafter. How shall I connect it? How should I connect it? Does it make sense? How should I make it infinite, eternal, although it's a temporary experience? For example, let me give this very practical, and everybody knows about it. When I help somebody, for example, a poor person, and I give some charity, give some money, help him. Okay, I gave some money and this person took it and maybe he used it, I hope they do, for a real need, not really wasteful way, for a real need. I am happy. Okay, I will die and finish. But Quran says, hey, you should do it with God consciousness. What does it mean? Now, look at the property that you gave, money, which is the result of your labor. So the person who receives the money will get something. It means not the money itself, but the value of it is created by God. This person is going to eat something. These are created by God. And the sense I have, which pushes me, invites me, promotes me to help this needy one, is given by God. The opportunity I have this money is provided by God. God created it for me. So if we give it just to satisfy the other person's needs and saying that I did a good job, and now this is one side of it. And the other side, I am doing this just to acknowledge that the property I am giving, the labor I am my labor I am sharing, and the feeling I have, and the person who is going to benefit from it, they are all created by God. So I have to give it in the name of God. I have to give whatever I give in the name of God, acknowledging that I am not the owner of the property. I am not the owner of the feeling. And the needy one also is not the owner of his hunger, his need. God's arrangement. God's arrangement. With this consciousness, after giving the uh, food or property, sharing the property, helping the person, I will say, thank you, God. You gave me this opportunity to share what you have given to me to the needy one. That's why Quran says, we ask you, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. We ask you to give to others, needy ones, from what we have given to you. Why I shouldn't say it is my property. God has enabled me. God has created the food. God has created the labor. God has created the power in me. God has created the feeling in me. Everything. That's why God says, you have to give it from what we have given you. It means you have to acknowledge that it is our favor, God's favor to us, that we are practicing it. That is called God consciousness in our practical life here. So if we have this God consciousness, as we, for example, benefit from it, from anything, I'm wearing this, whatever you call it, cloth, whatever it is. When I say, no, this cloth is given to me by my God. So, not, but I bought it. One person says, I bought the cloth and I paid the money. That's it. When you die, it finishes. But when I say, God gave me the opportunity to buy this, and God created this cloth for me, employed the people to do it, but originally the existence of the things realized by God. So what I do here, I say, Now, this cloth is provided by God. So I am very pleased with him. So please God, I acknowledge God now. Your power is infinite. Your knowledge is infinite. Your qualities are infinite. So I trust you to satisfy my feelings, which need infinite satisfaction. If a person doesn't remember God, he cannot really satisfy his spiritual needs, which looks for infinite satisfaction. That is how Quran always connects our worldly life to belief in God, belief in hereafter, belief aspect of it. That is why we have to bear in mind that Quranic teaching is not like the teaching or like the education we received in secular education systems. That is a very important aspect of Quran that we have to bear in mind. Any more comment? And the time is up. Inshallah, next week we can continue from the verse 33. No, there are other things related to this subject, but these are different ayat, different verses. So inshallah, we will continue next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So let me see this one and this one. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا إن الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.